welcome to this episode of Rugby Chumps. Unfortunately, our fellow champion Dara is off sick. Apparently, the Munster game really killed him. Uh, and he's ended off with the flu. I don't know if it's just he doesn't want to talk about Munster right now, going up against Leinster. But I've got Jacques here with me. How you doing, Jacques?
I'm good. Very cold here in Natal for some reason. And as you can see, felt like being a little bit different today. Having I don't know, I think it's probably my fifth team that I support. I've decided to go with the Cheetahs tonight. And
Yeah.
regarding Doc, also think he was a bit scared. He knew that we're going to come for him tonight.
The only problem is it's going to go always because all of our teams lost this weekend. It wasn't a good weekend for any of us, unfortunately. I'm still my Stormers boys. Yeah, I probably ripped them a few in just now, but yeah, it wasn't a good weekend for any of us. Um, I mean, probably the best thing out of South Africa was probably Griffin this weekend, refereeing that game. Uh, for his first game, I'll have to say it was actually quite good. But I mean, let's get into some news. This week, as here Lionel Mapu has actually retired. Now from the Bulls coming up, or he's not renewing his contract. He's going into retirement now. I don't know if you've heard about that.
I think he's got a professional career of almost 20 years. So I think
Mhm.
it is time.
Yeah. And I mean, also other things that have come out early on today is URC disciplinary rescinds Creel's red card, which I'm one of those. I find it a little bit unfair on the guy when you're trying to push the player off, and you get the guy was on his way down and everything like that. So I mean, good for Creel. I I'm always one of those. I think it's a bit harsh on the attacking player that gets nailed for that. But so it's a game, and that's how calls go. Another thing regarding red cards is apparently now Pablo Montero's just been given a slap on the wrist for his incident against Koch. So they've obviously seen similar views to what I've had, where I don't think it was as bad as it was, but because he got the red card, he's still been given, I think, 1 or 2 match suspension. I don't know how you feel about that.
The thing is, if you see with this now, got a slap on the wrist and he came back. There's things that's going to happen because now how do you decide which is a permanent red card or a 20-minute red card? Is rugby going to become more dangerous, or how are they going to determine that? Um, so now Creel got a red card over the weekend, and now it's been retracted. What maybe the score would have been different if he stayed on regarding that red card. Anyway, I think it was a penalty, the most. Um, Not even to me, it's not wasn't even worth a yellow card, as you say, to get a to give the attacking player that also went down in the tackle. As you see, the tackler also went down. You can't give a red card for something like that because you see the mitigation factors occurring right there in front of you. But they're the referees that's rating at that top level. They probably know more than us.
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit unfortunate and everything like that to see something like that. And I know the French rugby union has also come out against the red card situation, saying there's too much gray area between. And I mean, this whole discussion that we're having now is pretty much shedding light onto the gray area right now. So it's going to come one way or another. Is how do we determine what is the best option to go forward when it comes to a red card? That's why I said I think they need to bring in a different color card so certain things fall under the thing. So you get to yellow, which is your usual one, then you get your orange and red, or otherwise you need to go similar to hockey where it's green, yellow, red. Uh, the traffic lights, as we used to call it when I used to play back in the day. It is something. I mean, I do understand you have to change the rules and everything like this. They did like the one stop process and everything, but I think before they implement the 20-minute red card, they need to look at it at like a junior level, like the under 19s, 20s levels, and see how they can implement it to go into the senior and professional era. So, I mean, we're going to have to see how that goes. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things up now regarding refereeing. I see the TMO for the first game at Ellis Park has officially been demoted for a period of time, and he won't be doing any first or one tier nation games until a further time to be determined. But
Hmm.
yeah. Um, and the referee was Andrew Brace in that one, and I've really voiced my discomfort in his refereeing and everything like that. So yeah, I see
It
they are
scares me.
taking.
It scares me that you're talking about Andrew Brace because I just saw the appointments for our end of year tour, and if I'm not mistaken, he's doing Ireland,
No, we're not playing against Ireland. We're playing against
not
Scotland,
Ireland. Sorry, man,
Wales.
Scotland. I
Yeah,
think he's doing
well, I
Scotland.
know he's. Yeah, one of the games at the moment, I saw that as well, and I was like, oh my gosh, like right now, he's not someone that I think should be doing tier one.
Not at all.
I mean, he already got slapped on the wrist regarding Stormers game that we first lost against the Ospreys. The fact that
Yeah,
he let certain penalties slip.
yeah,
So I I mean, I'm one of those. I don't like blaming the ref. You have to play the conditions, and unfortunately, the ref is one of the conditions. Whether he's
yeah,
traveling from South Africa to the UK or UK down, it's factors that go in there. Sometimes it's out of their reach. I mean, as a ref, you could have just had an argument with your girlfriend saying that she wants you to be at home and instead of refereeing, and you go
yeah,
there and you're in a calm mood. Yeah. And
yeah,
I mean, you have to be professional. And I mean, I'm not saying that they're not professional, but it does hinder your decision and how quickly you get to a certain level.
yeah. That's also one of the reasons why they brought in. Well, it's probably been around a while for a match official coach to travel with the guys to keep them calm. If there
Mm.
is any household troubles, that the coach can talk to him about it and tell him, listen, yeah, talk to me like a type of shrink, just to
Yeah.
calm his nerves before, just to get his head on the game and instead of where the problems are. So
No, I think the level of mental I don't want to say protection, but the mental stimulus and getting them in the right frame of mind from back in the early 90s to now is a huge difference. I know they look at shrinks regarding the professional players and everything like that. How do they get the guys ready for a game? Like as soon as you sign a contract, there's a guy going, "Hey, how are you doing? I'm the psychologist of the team." And how you doing? How you feeling? If you moved into a new place, how are you adjusting to things? Have you gone to the beach if you moved to Cape Town, or have you gone to go see whatever up in Joburg? Have you gone to Nshaka Marine World in Durban? I don't know what Limerick has. Sorry, Dara.
flu, they've
uh,
got the flu. If you had the flu while you're here,
yeah. Yeah. What was the old joke I remember? What do old pilots get? Illness do old pilots get? The flu. Uh, yeah. So I mean, yeah, I do like that whole thing. Of course I'm part of that generation where it's kind of like just man, eat some cement and harden the hell up and carry on with life. But I'm also at the same time where you do need to understand there isn't more mental thing. If you can get the mental state right, everything gets better.
That is, and I know people know that the ref get it a lot from the side, but as a ref, I can tell you it's way worse than anybody thinks, especially when you're on TV. When you're sitting in front of the TV, you don't hear the crowd. And I've had a couple of big games, and it gets difficult.
I mean, just doing club level myself, it does get quite difficult. And I mean, some of the Cape people how
Oh,
they
yeah.
can get really passionate behind their team, and they can believe they're 100% correct and you're 100% wrong, even though the guy did just knock the ball on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. But I mean, let's move on to the games. I mean,
Can
you
we
have to
please,
admit
can
this
we
weekend.
please do our three first, so we can get that out of it?
I was gonna go in order and just slowly build up because I mean I was one of the last games on the weekend. But yeah, I mean we can do that. Let's start off with Leinster and Munster. It just looked like Leinster completely outmuscled Munster this weekend. I mean that line out take from Archie was just pure beauty.
Yes.
It looked like a quarterback passing it straight to Gibson Park. But I mean, Archie looked like he had a hell of a game from the highlights that I saw, and everything like that. I know Dara got to meet some of the Munster guys beforehand. There was a picture of him and John Klein. Um, if I knew that, I would have phoned and said, "Hey, John, can you please come back to the Stormers? We miss you. We love you. Come back." um, yeah, but I mean, yeah, and then I'll go first before you. Edinburgh versus the Stormers. It started off so beautifully, and even though we were under pressure from Edinburgh from get go, we were holding it off. And then all of a sudden, we'll get this momentum, and we just did stupid passes in contact. It wasn't even 50-50, it was like 90-10 passes. And there was players who do all the fancy stuff and they try these fancy passes as they're in the middle of contact. It wasn't working. It should have been take the contact, create the ruck, especially with the fact that the Stormers last season had the fastest ruck time.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't don't just waste time and everything like that. Then unfortunately the Italians, yeah, I was hoping for you guys until they started running away, but I mean, you can blame it on the South African that they had that destroyed you guys. So in the end, South Africa did win.
Yeah, true. What's that? Rhino Benjamin
Yeah, from the Cheetahs.
from
That's
the
why you were in the
Cheetahs.
Cheetahs. That's why you were in the Cheetahs jersey.
You see, we had at the club that I coach, uh, we had our AGM and we had some general game there where the boys played against each other. The first 10 minutes, I sat there and yeah, everything went well, and just from there, I don't know. I've never seen. No, I'm just gonna rephrase. That was the worst. That was the most pathetic rugby match I've ever seen the Sharks. I don't know where they tried tackling people because I don't know. There was no tackles. The gaps opened up like the Red Sea. Then Rhino Benjamin from the Cheetahs just strolls through, scores there. I just I decided to leave because I don't want to get a heart attack.
Yeah, the
Was
one play that did impress me, and you're probably not going to like me for saying this, was Umaga from Benetton at fly half.
yeah, yeah.
he actually controlled that game, and I think he's not that old as well. I mean, he's looks like a youngster that has a very bright future ahead of him. The way he just
Yeah, he's also
controlled that game and
one of the
everything.
New Zealand born guys.
Yeah, but I think he's got if he's not if I'm not mistaken, I think he does have Italian citizenship now, which scares me seeing some of those players and how young they are and the level that they're playing at now. Beforehand, Italy was like that team that you're like, okay, cool. We can play our C team and get them some play time in the World Cup, but now it doesn't look that way. It looks like they are coming through. I mean, Sebastian Negri, okay, though he's a Zimbabwean, with Italian blood. Uh, he's a solid player. I think while watching that Six Nations documentary on Netflix, I was looking at this guy and I was like, holy mackerel! If it wasn't for Robert Mugabe, would he be playing down here in South Africa? Um, because I mean, he is a solid guy, and he doesn't let little things take him. He puts another level to himself to perform. And
Now,
when I saw him come on, yeah,
I'm happy that Italy can grow, same as Argentina does. It's always a good thing. You can't have one rugby nation dictate all of world rugby. You can't, like New Zealand did for the past how many years. And now you see all these the smaller nations that picks up. I love it.
yeah. I mean, also, I'm really enjoying it as well, watching these smaller nations and the fact that some of these players are taking opportunities overseas. And I mean, I'm one of those. I laugh and go like, "Are you really? Are you really like your country at a World Cup?" I do like to rag on about it because I mean, South Africa. Very seldom do you get a player that comes from outside of South Africa into the team. But
I think I only
if
know of
it's
one.
gonna happen, I think there was two, Brian Majati as well.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually thinking about Brian Mujadi. Who's the other one?
Tendai Mataria, the beast.
Ah, shit, Zimbabwe as well.
Yep,
Ah, that's true.
yeah.
Wow,
So,
two props.
yeah. And two fantastic props. I think Majati just unfortunately his career just ended a little bit more because of injuries and everything. But I
Yeah.
know he made quite a name for himself in the UK. But yeah, uh, yeah. The scrums were, but the scrums from South African teams were South African scrums. You can see that they put the pressure on. They did well. The thing is with the Stormers are doing so great in the lineouts. I mean, they were stealing lineouts from the Edinburgh, but Edinburgh just opened them up everywhere else. It was kind of scary to watch that. Unfortunately, I think Jaden Hendricks just he's not a 15 and he's not handling that change so well. Curry Cup's different compared to URC. I think we're going to see a completely different side if they decide to carry on playing him there when it comes to the European stuff, because those European teams are just going to literally slice him like he's nothing.
Yeah.
But I see Fussy is coming back, or hopefully by then Fussy's back, which will probably be good news for the Sharks. But yeah,
Well,
we're gonna have to wait and
they'll
see.
probably Jaden to fly off there
Yeah,
and
but
put
then what
Masuku
happens
on the.
to yeah, Masuka didn't actually have that much of a great game. I don't know if he just seems like he's lost his flair. I don't know if he just needs to shake the rust off in URC. Uh, but I mean another issue that I had with the Sharks is why did they go on with the light kits when you had two teams kind of white on white? The equipment manager should be like, yeah, bruh, listen, that's their home colors. We need to go with our home colors, not our away colors. Did they just
Yeah.
forget them, or did they put too much bleach in the wash before they left?
Uh, ag, we're not in the management, so we don't know what they decide every day. But it
Yeah.
was a stupid decision. I do agree.
I mean, you know where you're going, so you need to at least make a plan. Like, okay, cool. We need two sets of kits when we go over there. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, let's go through the results of the weekend. Starting off with Glasgow versus Zebra. Glasgow, yo, Hugh Jones, what a game. Uh,
Agreed.
Stormers boy. And Scotland didn't even know who he was until he came to play for the Stormers. Uh, yeah, then there was Cardiff versus Scarlets, which was actually quite a good game, but unfortunately, Scarlets put Cardiff at the end. Um, then there was the Bulls versus Ospreys, where the Bulls, I think it was down to 13 men at one stage, actually held off the Ospreys quite well. I
I
mean,
think
it
there was.
looked like quite a. Sorry?
No, I'm just thinking. I think they were down to 13 twice.
Yeah, it was due to that whole fact that someone was off in the front row, so now you have to lose
Yeah,
another
yeah, yeah.
player. Yeah, because they were uncontested scrums, that's why.
Mhm.
Uh, and yeah, so then Ulster versus Connacht, where Ulster literally were an Ulster to Connacht and put them by 5 by 32-27, which the highlights that I saw there was actually quite exciting. And then Dragons versus Lions, which was quite close until the Lions took it at the end.
You know, although it was a close game, I don't care about the previous games that like the Lions ran away with Edinburgh and Ulster and all that. But I think this was one of the best games that the Lions played.
Well,
The
I mean,
the running
considering the
back
travel time.
with traveling, if you put all that in perspective, um, I think what's the captain's name? Frankie Horn.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. Yes,
One
that thing's a
horn.
beast.
Yeah. And then don't forget how the Welsh are pronouncing Q1. One horn.
One.
Quando, quando, quando. And that's what went through my head every time they
Yes.
called it.
If you take especially the role that he had in that last try that they scored to get them in front. I've never seen a flank forward run like that. It's the handling, the steps, the strength. Um, I
Yeah,
think he's definitely. I think he's definitely putting his hand up for the end of year tour, and
I
and
agree.
I don't know how long Mr. Rassi Erasmus can skip JC Pretorius because I haven't seen a game that he has not performed.
Yeah. The try of the game was that intercept by Keddy. Yo, and from a flanker running like 70 meters. I think at one stage they said, oh, he's got 73 meters of ball carrying. The 70 meters came from one carry. Where he scored that intercept try. But yeah, I mean, listen, the Dragons, I need to say this year are a lot different to the Dragons in the past 2 years of the URC. They definitely have lit a fire underneath them and go, we are not bottom two this year. Like, let's go mid table. I mean, they probably went small increments in plans, but I mean, I
Yeah,
have to give it to them. And also all due respect to the supporter that passed away. I know, I think it was 17 minutes in, they had like a minute of clapping in remembrance of him. So I can't remember the guy's name, but all respect and well wishes to his
actually,
family.
I did
Yeah.
read about it.
I actually must be honest. Like, watch. I'm sometimes so jealous of those small clubs, or when I say small stadiums, where that you have those people day in day out that are at the stadium watching, no matter what the team is,
Yeah,
and everything. The amount that they do for the community, but here in South Africa is a completely different level. I mean, I think there was 85,000 people at the Leinster Munster game, and that's kind of like what we get at Cape Town Stadium when it's a final or something like that. And we fill up the whole of Cape Town Stadium. I think we're down to 50 because we leave the top tier open on the stadium. Um, is that maybe something that Saru needs to look at and say, like, listen, when it comes to home games, something like Kings Park and Cape Town, we just open up because you can easily fill up those stands if it's the right game.
Yeah, I think the only problem is the ticket price.
Well, I
I think
mean,
they
Cape.
I don't know what Cape Town charges, but yeah, in Durban it's like 120 rand a ticket.
Well, we go from 50 for the cheapest, then it's 70, 125, 175, 150, 175, 325, and like 300 odd rand. So it's actually not too bad.
For you and me, not bad, but for the next guy, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I'll buy
Whereas you,
the 70 rand ones.
yeah, on the post, come on, why not?
No problem with that. You get to watch how the game flows. I, yeah. Uh, I know some people say no, you need to watch from the halfway line because it's like watching on. I'm like, but if you want to watch it like that, just watch on TV. I sometimes like to sit there and be like, okay, cool. There you go. Oh, there's the gap. Oh, they're gonna do that soon. Or like, oh, they need to watch that gap. That guy's gonna break through there if they don't. But I
The
mean,
best
that's probably
the
from playing.
best position is between the 22-meter line and the goal line. A little bit up top,
Yeah.
then you can see everything.
Um, I think it was Lions versus Stormers. I was just in line with the try line, but I got to see like Angelo Davids put people in the bus against the Lions. Yo, that was another yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's exciting times. I think it's great to see some of the rules that they're wanting to implement to allow people to come into or either spectate the game or stuff like that. I mean, now you're seeing the fact that Leinster's playing at the Aviva Stadium because it's that big there in Ireland, which is actually pretty awesome, and all credit to them and all props to them. Whether or not we'll see Edinburgh at Murrayfield, because if I'm not mistaken, Murrayfield's just behind them.
Yeah,
Uh,
somewhere there.
Edinburgh, yeah, Edinburgh moving into Murrayfield soon because it's gonna go. But another thing we need to talk about is the fact that people are now saying Wales needs to leave the URC and join Premiership, or the Wales Union taking over a bit more. Them leaving, I don't think right now the way they're playing is a good idea. They look like they have improved and everything. The administration problems that they're having is also going to be something that plays in their role. The thing that I don't like is where they turn around and they say, okay, cool, this player plays for this team, this player, da. Because then the problem is you don't get the right feel of the team, and sometimes you can get messed up. I mean, you look at Leinster, for instance. I can't even remember the last time Leinster actually won a tournament, any tournament. That they get to a certain point and then they just crash out.
Ah,
I think I saw. I think before the URC started, they were one of the most dominant teams, but now that they're up on the top, but they never seem to convert into trophies.
it's going to be well, I'm not want to say difficult. It's going to be sad if the Welsh Rugby Union intervene with the clubs. That you see them growing day week in and week out. Why do you want to mess it up? Why fix what's not well? I'm saying what's not broken, but if you can see the clubs are improving, stay out of it.
Yeah,
You don't need to fiddle in something if you can see the improvement, like the Dragons. You can see them improving every week. The structure changes, the way they play, everything gets better. So I think they must. I don't have a lot to say. I haven't read everything about it, but my opinion, they must stay away. Let the clubs be.
No,
Let they do.
I agree. I think let them go. Right now they're doing great, which is good for you as well, because if they are doing great, uh, and their confidence is growing, that means the players when they move across, their confidence. I think I saw a post with the rugby guy saying he wonders how many Wales players are actually going to make it into the Lions tour next year. Not on any basis, then they've been quite dominant in the selection for the past 3 or 4 I think it was like 15, 12. There's always been double digits selections.
Yeah,
Um in the thing, and it's never just been like, oh, okay, even though Wales hasn't been the greatest team, they have been banging on the doors for selections, and we're gonna have to see what happens now in the November tests coming up with just over a month, or just under a month actually. Um, what happens? I mean, we're gonna start seeing the Springbok side being selected. Are we gonna go with another 40 selection, or we're gonna go with a like a 32-man selection? It's Rassi playing mind games already in everybody's heads before he's even thought of anything. But yeah, I do like the fact that Saru turns around and just says to the unions, like, listen, we've selected this player. We want him only to play a certain amount of games. That's it. You choose. You do what works for you. If you need anything else, you talk to us and we can make a player management system around it and
yeah.
everything like that. And it seems to work. And I think with the new system, it works for us. Um, I mean, we see Andre Pollard now on the point of leaving Leinster Tigers, and I've seen things where people are saying, "Oh, he must go back to the Bulls." Some people say, "Oh, he's at that point of his life; he needs to come back home." And I've also heard things as saying he must go over to Japan because Japan's rugby isn't as uh how can I say it without being disrespectful to them, but not as demanding on the
Yeah.
body as the rest of the leagues are. And this is what you're seeing a lot of the older players go there, get their money, still carry on playing, but it makes sure that they are at that level where they can come back and play international. And we're gonna have to look at Andre for another 3 years now, and everything like that. And I mean, you can already see Rassi's already getting into the minds of the senior players of what is the next step for you in rugby after the next World Cup. I mean, we've got Dwayne from Vermeulen already running on the field and being a water boy and part of the coaching setup. Uh, there was, I think it was that Wales game at Twickenham, where Andre Pollard was in the coach's box with the guys, and everything like so. It looks like he's identified the right people, and he's already slowly but surely pushing them into the positions.
You see, it's they must just always keep in mind an ex-player does not necessarily make a good coach. They must. That's also one thing that he needs to understand. Rasi now he's one of those exceptions that probably yeah he was a good number six, but I don't think he was the best ever. And he made a brilliant coach. All right, so that's that. It's not to say that uh, Dwayne Vermeulen is going to be a good forward coach. Yes, he's got
Hmm.
the knowledge and all, but does he know how to talk to the guys? Because
Communicate
currently
the
now he's got the earpiece in and he's just throwing the commands that's coming from Rasi. Can he be the guy that makes the decision? I don't know. That's only one thing that we can find out. We'll wait and see.
mm. No,
I
but
think Andre
that's why I said
will will be able to talk to the guys because you can see his mentality, the way
he's a
his
10. That's
personality.
why.
It's just
Yeah.
I think he can do it.
Yeah, but I
But
mean
we'll see.
that's why I said that's why I said I think he's identified the guys and he's how can I say he's guiding them into that thing. but it's that typical saying: you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, he's at least opening up the doors to them, whether they walk through and how they take it. I mean, I just read now, Dolly, who was part of the emerging Springboks, has just signed on now at Saks as a kicking consultant under Josh Strauss, who was the Scottish player. He's the
Yeah,
director of rugby at Saks, which I was like, oh, is that what's happened to him? He came back home and now he's coaching at school level. And Dolly as well, he's been at Unimall, which is one of the top teams here in the Western Cape and Cape Town. So
yeah.
we just have to see whether or not and apparently I see he's also part of the My Player management where they manage the players' mentalities and everything like that and make sure that they're okay. And like I said, that whole being in their head on a for a good basis kind of thing.
Yeah. Player management is very important, especially now that rugby is all year round.
Yeah, agreed. But I think we need to move on. Let's talk about the upcoming fixtures and our predictions on that. No productions. It's been a long day. So we start off on Friday with Scarlets versus Bulls. I take it you watching that one because your girlfriend was very in our face about
What
that.
time will that be?
25 to 9, 8:35.
That
Oh no, you
is
busy.
approximate. No, that's approximately the time that I'm going to arrive in Joburg. So yeah, I will probably watch it.
No, you busy, busy. Oh wait, she's probably gonna watch us. Sorry.
I send you the picture. You have to add. You have to add it. You have to.
uh we'll pause now quickly. Picture and back. Yeah. Then we got Ulster versus Ospreys. The way Ulster Connacht and especially with the fact that Ulster's at home. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm gonna say the Bulls are gonna beat Scarlets. I have to go that way. Um, Ulster's gonna put the Ospreys on Friday as well because they're playing at home. Then we got Zebra traveling to Joburg uh at 1:30 on Saturday against the Lions. So the Lions are gonna eat the Zebras.
They are.
Yeah, Sharks are playing against Glasgow Warriors at home. That could be a concern for the Sharks. The Sharks
Agreed.
have to turn up and be there. I mean, with the way Hugh Jones is busy going there and to Pilato, that center combination right now is dangerous for them, and they're gonna have to control it. I don't think Julie's the right person. I think they have to go with and Esther Hazen in the center combination. You need that senior mindset in the game. As much as the Boogeyman is a fantastic player to watch, he's still young. I think you need someone with a calm head to watch. Um, Dara's
Maybe
team
move.
is going down.
Maybe moving.
Yeah, Dara's team's going down against the Stormers and Munster are playing. Uh,
I'll go
uh,
Stormers.
I'm gonna have to go Stormers because you know that's where my heart is. We've never beaten Munster. Hopefully, this is our game. And the start of being a very even uh matchup. Then we go to Edinburgh versus Cardiff. If Edinburgh can find holes against Cardiff, it's definitely going to be an Edinburgh game. Connacht is hosting Leinster. I'm going to have to go with Leinster on this one. I mean, they're coming off a high against Munster with the high attendance to that game. And then we end the weekend with Dragons hosting Benetton. And again, Bennington on a huge high against beating the Sharks. I think they're going to be a hard team to beat right now, and I don't think they're going to come easy to the Dragons. And I'm going to have to go with Bennington on that one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, well, I think that's all for today. Dara, I know you're probably going to be watching this. Sorry, bro, for the loss already. I'll send you a virtual hug. Uh,
Yeah.
and all the best that you get over your old pilot's illness, the flu. Uh, and yeah. And to Jacques' girlfriend, I'm sorry for all the bad comments I made about the Bulls earlier. And the fact that Jacques going to be busy. He won't. He loves you too much. He talks about you on the group all the time.
Unfortunately, I'll be watching the game because I'm going to Joburg to go visit her, and she knows that.
No, it's weird you go to Joburg to go watch the Bulls, not to Pretoria.
Sorry, Pretoria. She lives in Centurion, same place. It's the same place.
It's literally just across the river.
Exactly, same place. That's what I say.
Yes, it's Gauteng.
Correct.
All right, guys. Thanks very much. Have a good day. Please remember to like and subscribe. Please share. Let us grow the community. We are busy talking about some stuff to come in the future, which once we find and ironed out all the creases of that, wink, wink. Um, we will start putting that forward to you guys. But thank you very much, guys. My fellow champions. Enjoy it. Keep well. Stay safe.
Cheers.